This is the Battle of White Plains. It's by G&T Games. It's part of the Battles of the American Revolutionary War series. We've just done the first turn, and the first turn is unique, and the British only can actually do anything in the first turn. We'll have a very quick look at movement while we're on this first turn. Some things here, we've got a cavalry unit. When I went through the units before, I didn't show any cavalry. They're pretty much the same as anything else, except they've got a picture of a cavalryman on them. They have some special rules, etc., but there's nothing on the counter that's particularly abnormal, apart from the fact they've obviously got a range of 6 as against a range of 4 from the infantry. Now, during the movement phase in this game, it is pretty much the same as any other game. It's really simple. The one thing you can do is you can use strategic movement. Now, strategic movement allows you to double your movement allowance, but you've got to stay on effectively roads. It says stay on terrain that allows it. As far as I can see, only roads will allow you to do strategic movement. You can't start or end strategic movement in the zone of control of an enemy. While you're doing strategic movement, all stacking rules still apply. If you don't use strategic movement, you've just got your base allowance there. You can't sort of start without doing strategic movement. You couldn't start in this hex here. Sorry, so that was up that hex there. You couldn't start that as normal movement, then move down here and become strategic movement. You've got to start and end your movement in a hex that allows strategic movement to use it. The actual movement is controlled by a terrain effects chart here, which is pretty straightforward, to be quite honest. It is very good. It shows you all the different types of units, how much it costs to move them. You've got various things about effect in combat, whether it blocks line of sight, whether zones of control are affected by it. If you go over to the actual map itself, if we zoom over here, there is actually a terrain key up the side here. Now, there is a couple of oddities I noticed, that it goes primary river, secondary river and tertiary river or brook, but if you look on the terrain effects chart, it mentions, and in the rules, it mentions creeks rather than tertiary or brooks, but they are effectively the same thing, so that's a bit of an oddity. The terrain effects are cumulative, so if you've got multiple terrain effects, no, I say cumulative only if you're, say, going into a hex and certain things where you're crossing a hex side, they would add together, whereas normally if you're just going into a hex, it would be the worst case scenario if there were multiple things in a hex. Okay, well, I'll do it for the first turn and for information on movement.